Hey friends, hey my people, it's Jody of Fervor Voice, February 10th. It is Friday, recording a quick one. This one is balancing act. You might have your own idea of what I might mean by that. We'll get to it though. Let's do that work, y'all. Hey, good people. So I am back. You're going to hear a little bit of bird chirping and a little bit of cars running back and forth. No problem. You know what I do? I walk and kind of talk. That's just my thing. So today I want to talk about balancing act. So the balancing act I'm talking about is the balance between yourself, your life, your job, all these things that you have going on that have you out of whack. I know used to have me out of whack. Actually, still does have me out of whack. You know, things that need to be done and things that I want to do. It's just a balancing act. So I think for me, it's important to kind of define it because I talked about business relationships a few episodes back. It was actually the last season where I talked about business relationships and how I got called out about my relationships and things of that nature. And to me, I took it as business relationships. So I'm still on this journey of working out business relationships, building business relationships. And in that, I've, taken a class and, building relationships in that, or at least thinking that whole thing through. And baby steps. But when we have class, we actually have an instructor that kind of just lets us just go for it and just start talking, just talk it all the way through. It's kind of it's a different approach, not one that I'm really used to, but hey, it's not my class, it's not my show, so, her approach is kind of let whatever's going to happen. Whatever conversation's going to come up. We talked about corporate America's definition of balance, and it's very different, and it's different because it benefits them, right? So when you talk about balance, and actually they threw the word balance out for one particular person who talked about not even calling it balance. No, we don't use that word anymore, and no, it's something like a hodgepodge or whatever. I don't even know. It was just silly to me because wordplay is tricky. And wordplay oftentimes is played by that power, that bigger power that kind of rules everything. And they play with words and they make you think different things. And that's my perception. And that's what I felt like. I felt like it was a lot of wordplay for something that we already know and understand. It's whether or not we have enough of this, enough of that, enough of play, enough of work to actually maintain a certain level of what I call balance. I can't even remember the word that they used. Maybe it'll come to me further in the podcast, but we had this conversation and I could not believe that there were people that were actually not wanting to use balance, like the word balance was actually a bad word. I was like, wait, it's very simple. Basically, the things that you need and enough of what you need to pretty much keep you happy, keep you in a good place. So you do need some work. You do need some play. You do need some new things to experience. You absolutely need some of those things. They keep you balanced. I like the word. It happens to be a word that I find to be very important, so I continue to use it. Hey, so I had okay. By definition, let me just say that balance is something that has to do with not science, as I was told by one individual. Well, if it's balanced, then that means it's the exact same amount all the way around. If it's 3 parts, then all 3 parts have to weigh exactly the same. I mean, if that's the way you want to do it, me personally, I think you can have a little bit of something else more than the other. But when it just tips the scale completely, I think that that's probably an imbalance. I think that if you can get things close to equal, then that's good. If that's what makes you happy, if that is what keeps you in a good place, if that is what keeps you growing, evolving, learning, and happy, that is your balance. Now, you have to be honest about it. And sometimes you have to think about it in ways that you're not really used to thinking about it. But yeah, balance can arrive. Now, if you think about it in terms of, as this particular individual who is a member of management is thinking of it, and I'm sorry, but I do feel that oftentimes those that are members of management, they bring that home. And that mindset just kind of sticks with them. And that's, I think, what corporate America likes. I think they like that because I think they want you on that wheel all the time. That's my opinion. Do I know this for a fact 100%? Nope. But from my experience is, yes, I absolutely think that's what they want you to believe and to continue to believe and to live your life by that. You shouldn't be worried about balance. Throw that out. That's a bad word. There's something else, life, some fulfillment, I don't know. It was so stupid. And I don't even like to call it that, but when you know better and you still do something that's just out of whack, or you do things that you know aren't right, you say things that you know aren't right, you know it's not right. I'm gonna have to put the stupid on that. It's ridiculous. But again, that's where I'm coming from on that. I might have to pull that stupid back after I listen to this. I may have to, I don't know, because sometimes I have to retract things I say. But as it stands right now, that's so far beyond just, I don't agree with it, that I have to put that label on it anyway. When I think about balance and what's necessary to keep you balanced, what's necessary to keep me balanced, let's start there. I like to share my own stories. What's necessary to keep me balanced is exercise. I know I need exercise because my mind goes. I'm always thinking about something. It's always a wheel turning. So I need to exercise. I need to do yoga. I need to do these things. And at 51, I need, to walk and skate. And I need to do that. It's a release for me. I also need to read. I also need to write. I need to do all of those things. But I also need to pull back on TV, social media, things that are influencing me in a way that really doesn't have anything to do with my goals and the direction that I'm traveling. So if I sit down and think about what is it that I need, or sit down and think about what was I doing at this time that caused me not to handle things that I needed to do, I can start to tap down on the things that I needed to do to keep myself balanced. Yes, balanced, because I feel like it's important. I feel like we need some of many different things to keep ourselves happy, to keep ourselves in tune. That's what I feel. And again, on this podcast, I share what I feel and I share my experience based on what I know, right? So, having said that, the importance of balance and the importance of doing things, many different things, is what keeps you in that good space. What doesn't keep you in that good space, though? Distractions. So whether you want to get that under control, those distractions, those things that you probably don't need to overindulge in, but they're fun. Listen to Indra Ali, and he's very serious about certain terms and the things that he says. And when he says certain things about distractions and how a distraction could literally be anything, it made me think. Doing something that's actually to your benefit can be a distraction as well. If it's keeping you from doing something you're supposed to be doing, that could be a distraction as well. You could be making dinner for your family. That's a benefit. That's a good thing. But it could be a distraction if it's keeping you from doing the things that need to get done. But you can put that into perspective and allot a certain amount of time and make sure that you kind of handle your schedule with that, along with that. That can happen too. My thing is that balance part and not putting it in the back of your mind and just kind of working it as if maybe you need to do it, maybe you don't. It's very urgent. Because when you don't, what happens is other things get thrown kind of out of whack. And you know what it's like when you're out of whack and you're going to work, you're out of whack, you're around your family, you're out of whack, and you're with your spouse, significant other, whomever, friends, whomever. And when you're out of whack, they receive that. You're giving that to them because you're not in a good place, because you're not balanced. So how important is it to you? How important is it to you to be balanced? Here's another thing. I was told that the word balance is a word of privilege. What? Now, this was not coming from someone that was my age. And though this person was not my age, I have to respect her opinion and where she's coming from. I expect her to do the same for me. So I have to do it for her. So when someone in their 30s tells me that the word balance is a word of privilege, we have people who aren't eating. We have people who don't have a roof over their head. The word itself, balance, is a privilege. And I got all charged up about it, and I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm not even gonna respond to that. She talking crazy. I get all charged up about it. Get in the car, and I'm like, I know she didn't just say that. I know, I'm all this stuff. It starts wilding out in my head, and I'm just like, it went too far. I get on the phone, I'm like, let me tell you what happened. I won't tell you who I was talking to, but let me tell you what happened. Talk about it, and, this person pretty much has the same opinion as me. Like, oh, you can't even listen to that, but, that's what happens when, people kind of have this perception that, this is how life is. And at a young age, there's certain things that you just kind of don't know. But to brand a word like balance, to even things out, a word like balance all of a sudden is a word of privilege. Okay, let's take the word privilege. Is that a bad word too? Because that's what happened. Because I took the word privilege out of context. Be careful with words. How do I know she even meant that? How do I know that she even meant privilege as something negative toward me? Other than the fact that I was out of balance myself because I don't like going to class. I don't like being there. So everything's a trigger. I had to realize it. Damn it, I was out of balance. If that's how she feels, that's how she feels. Okay. But is that how I feel? No. Because I use the word quite frequently. Every day of my life, I use that word. Because if there's something that I don't want to do and I know it's not going to benefit me, if I can get out of doing it, I will. I absolutely will. But I've also learned that I don't really care to sit in a classroom anymore. Because now I'm on the other side of the classroom. I'm not in the front of the classroom anymore. I'm not in charge of it. And I've learned I don't like that. Why? Because that hasn't been my thing for a long time. I think I kind of forgotten about it. So now I have to reevaluate and kind of recalibrate. Because I got to get another balance going on. Life is a balancing act. And the things that you use to balance yourself out at one point in time, even a month ago, may not even work a month later. It may not. That's what I wanted to talk about today, that balancing act that is so relevant and so important, and we can wrap ourselves up in doing the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, until we don't even allow ourselves the time to evolve, the time to bring in new ideas, the time to accept new ideas, the time to even accept other opinions. And I had not done that because I hadn't been in a class in a long time. I've been to training. I've done that. But as far as going back to school for something, no. And I used to be eager. To take a class. But it's been a little while. And some things have changed in my life. Some perspectives have changed in my life. What's more important to me in my life has absolutely changed. So when I go into a class and I sit here and I'm saying to myself, is this what's being brought to me, huh? Where does that fit in my life? How does it benefit me? How does it give me what I need? And sometimes the answer is not a real positive one. It's not. But I'm going to stick it out because that's what I committed myself to. And usually the things that we run from the most are the things that we actually need the most. So I'm going to stick it out. And I'm going to do what I came to do because I committed myself to it. And because it's going to make me better, stronger. And yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what this journey is all about. Becoming better. I know in a past episode I said that the things that we go through, our struggles, need to make us better, not bitter. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I wanted to deliver to you today. The balancing act. A balancing act that is flexible, that changes all the time, that we have to pay attention to, more so than we may ever believe. Literally on a weekly basis. What in the world happened yesterday? What in the world happened last week, rather? That put me in this particular place. What do I need to do next week? What do I need to build up to do next month? That balancing act continues to change because we're always evolving if we make the decision to be better. If we make the decision to be greater, it requires evolving all the time. It requires a balancing act. It requires some of this, some of that, all of whatever is thrown into that big hodgepodge of stuff to keep us going, to keep us motivated. And that's the balancing act in itself. That is my message. Short and sweet. I think, anyway, pretty short. I like it to be 20 to 25 minutes or less. And I think I beat that by several minutes. So that's a good thing. It's the balancing act. And I just wanted to say that challenge yourself. It's important to challenge yourself to maintain a balancing act, to maintain your own sanity, to maintain the goodness that's within you, to maintain relationships, to maintain positive attitudes, to maintain everything in your life that you enjoy and everything that you want people to enjoy about you. It's a balancing act. Try it out. Use whatever strategies that you think may work. Use some that you may not think will work. You'll be surprised. But make that your focus. Make that your focus for the next week. Balancing act. How will you balance out the things that you need to do and the things that will keep you on track? How will you make sure that you're not triggered off the simplest word, a basic word that probably didn't even mean what you thought it did? Probably wasn't meant to hurt at all. How will you maintain that stability? That's all I have for y'all. That's the question for you. How do you maintain your balancing act? It is up to you. Give it a shot, though. This is Jody Maynard of Fervor Voice. I had a good time with y'all, and I hope you come back. Hang out with me soon. It's Fervor Voice. Bye-bye.